60 Minutes has become just another part, another cog in the state media wheel. They did a segment recently where they essentially are saying that we, the American people, are stupid. We're too dumb to understand what we're reading, what we're seeing, what we're exposed to, and that there needs to be a buffer. There needs to be moderators. And they need to be moderators who are qualified in their eyes, academic researchers, which, 5-6 years ago, they probably could have gotten away with it. 10 years ago, they could have gotten away with it. Now, and the fact that in this day and age, mainstream media has been more exposed with the help of channels like myself, with the help of independent media journalists, real intelligent, insightful organizations, grassroots organizations that are doing their own due diligence, their own qualitative research like I am. The trust level, the ethos of Lesley Stahl, wait till you get a load of this, and 60 Minutes, and the fact that they're saying that we're too stupid, that we can't actually ascertain and exercise our very own sovereignty, critical thinking, critical discernment. How low is the bar? How low has it been set in our country where Lesley Stahl and CBS and 60 Minutes say we're too stupid to handle this stuff? These are the people that Lesley Stahl thinks should be in control of what we're exposed to, what kind of news, information, and intelligence. Check this out. Okay, so 60 Minutes won't let me air any clips of their footage. I tried to distribute it, and they got flagged. So I'm kind of recording this just to show you because I really want you guys to see this video. It's very odd they wouldn't let me show clips because most organizations will let American-made media companies born and created in the United States, independent journalists like myself usually comment on this, but of course they don't want you guys to hear this. So this is Stacy Bird, who is a misinformation specialist, which literally is a made-up title. It was completely fabricated and originated during the 2016 election. There's no such thing as a misinformation specialist. These are academic researchers, which I have a lot to say about that, obviously, being in academia and seeing these people at work and how biased and absolutely egregious they are. But Lesley Stahl asks Miss Bird here, who works at Washington State University, asks her, when you guys were doing your research, did you find that there was more misinformation coming from conservatives than others? And she said unequivocally, yes. People who supported Donald Trump and people who thought there was such a thing as election interference in 2020, those were the people that were flagged the most. Of course. Are you shocked by that? I'm not. There you go. Stacy Bird, a University of Washington professor, researcher. And by the way, let me know in the comments, are you surprised? Are you shocked at all that that's what those researchers look like? I wonder if she's ever been to a BLM protest, or maybe she's been to a transgender puberty blocking affirmative care council meeting. I'm sure she has. I'd love to hear from you. What do you guys think? I've worked with people like Stacy Bird. I've been around them for decades working in the public sector when I was a professor. And these people are the most elitist, nose in the air. They think they know better than we do because they read a few academic studies and they wrote a few academic journals that nobody on planet Earth are just collecting dust in libraries. These people are elitists, and they stick their nose up at us. They look down upon us, normal, everyday Americans who are actually the blood work of the entire country, the engine of the economy, the engine of what makes us great. These elitist academic researchers, I've been around them my whole life, and they just make me sick, and this makes me sick. The entire segment on 60 Minutes is so editorialized. It is so cut to perfection. They even edited Jim Jordan's segment, which I'm going to show you, which I'm so impressed. I love our boy Jim from Ohio. He's always fighting for just Americans. He's fighting for us more than anybody I've seen in Congress in decades. I think Jim Jordan is fighting for us. I'm such a big fan of his. The way that 60 Minutes and Lesley Stahl edited this piece is the same exact way that they edited Trump's piece, which, if you remember, before they aired that interview with Trump on 60 Minutes years ago, Trump actually published the entire segment unedited and raw on his Facebook page, which I actually watched the entire segment. I couldn't believe the difference. The difference between the one that made it to live TV and the one that Trump published, the unedited raw footage of that interview, it was like a chasm between the two. It was insane. And this proves it as well. If you don't remember that, here's just a small clip from that. Check this out. So here's the clip, and I'm just going to talk about these because in order for me to distribute this and publish these videos, 60 Minutes won't allow me unless I can't show the actual clip. But essentially, most of you guys probably remember this clip. This is the clip where Lesley Stahl said, no, this is CNN, or this is 60 Minutes. We can't show anything that's unverifiable. And Trump is saying, no, they spied on my campaign, the Russia hoax, which actually was all proven later on. This was back in 20. This was a long time ago. I can't remember when it was exactly. Somebody in the comments let me know. It might have been 2020, actually. But essentially, Lesley Stahl is gaslighting. And Lesley Stahl is telling our former president, Donald Trump, saying, no, you're wrong. There's no verifiable evidence. We are 60 Minutes. We're a credible organization. We can't play things like this, Mr. President, unless we verify it. It's awful. Okay, in this clip here, I wish I could show you this. Go check it out. I'm sure most of you guys have probably already seen this, but I love what our man from Ohio, Jim Jordan, says. He says, look, the American people are smart. Let them do all their research. They can do whatever they want. But you can't say take this down. The American people can figure it out for themselves. What they're advocating for, what these academic misinformation specialists, and what they're advocating for is censorship. And rightly so, Jim Jordan says, I believe the American people are smart. I believe they can tell the difference. I respect the American people. It's called the First Amendment. It's called free speech. Jim Jordan says, I think there's a good amount of people who actually have concerns over the 2020 election. And Lesley Stahl interrupts him and says, no, they don't. Nobody questions that. Nobody questions election interference. Nobody questions who won the 2020 election. Really, Lesley? That's just not true, Lesley. That's just completely inaccurate and not true. There's plenty of people out there. You're just so out of touch. You're so out of your depth. You want to talk about somebody who's unfit for office. Holy macadamia nut, Lesley Stahl. Whoa, dear. Love you to death, sweetheart, but it might be time to move on. I mean, it's time. It's just, you're so out of, if you actually think nobody out there in America has any speculations, question marks, concerns, or issues about what happened in 2020? Here's one right here. And I consider myself fairly intelligent. And I find it very odd that in 50 years and how many countless elections that I've actually watched, seen in our country, our great country, the only time I've ever gone to bed with 4 swing states way ahead for one candidate completely flipped the morning I wake up. That's never happened in my entire life. Yeah, you better believe I've got some question marks about the election. Look, it's obviously a moot point now. It's over. You've got Tombstone Biden, who's practically ruined the country, right? There's no way. I'm not saying that we should go back. I'm not saying we should raid the Capitol. I'm not saying we should incite anything or God knows what. But the fact that Lesley Stahl cuts off Jim Jordan. And Jim Jordan's absolutely right. The American people are smart. Why do you guys think the American people are so dumb? Why do you think we can't make our own decisions? Why you actually think I'm going to go on Facebook and see something and go, well, I'm going to vote for this guy because, Putin told me to. The Russians, they took over my brain. It's invasion of the Russian brain snatchers. Holy mackerel, election interference. You really think that little of me and the rest of America? And you want me to leave it up to these LGBTQ academic researchers? This is exactly why. I'm speaking from firsthand experience. I've seen all those academic researchers. I know Claudine Gay. I know Harvard. I know all these presidents and professors who are full of absolute BS and never worked a real job in their entire lives. And they're propagandizing our children through this evil machine called higher education. You don't think that I know these people? And you're going to tell me you know what's good for me? You're going to tell me in a free market, in a free enterprise, in a free country, that you're going to administer what I get to be exposed to, what kind of information, what kind of news, what kind of communications I get to receive from my fellow Americans? I think not. Lesley Stahl. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Hasta la pasta. Ain't happening. Not here, not in America, not on my watch. So I just want to throw this off to you guys and see what you guys think. Again, I'm happy to be wrong. I have no problem with opposing views. Where is your facts? Where is your evidence? I know these researchers. I know they're full of crap. And I think the best point in that entire segment, besides Jim Jordan saying, I think American people are smart, is the fact that he said they can do all the research they want. They can post everything that they want. By all means, post their research. But you can't censor, you can't take down. The American people are smart enough. They can decide for themselves. We're not stupid automatons that Russia and Venezuela and all these other China just wield a couple of social media ads and posts, and all of a sudden we're robots or we're drones. It doesn't work that way. You want to control the narrative. That's all you want, Lesley Stahl, which, again, I believe, it sounds conspiratorial, but it's really not. I believe Lesley Stahl, CBS, NBC, Letitia James, Fannie Cash Money, G. Willis, Kamala the Grand Wizard, it's all part of the Obama consortium. It's all part of this coalition. I think the figurehead is Obama. I could be wrong. I think it is Obama. I think there's no doubt it's Obama because we've seen what's been happening. We've seen the outcomes of these policies. And these are policies put in place by him. And he's making sure that they get carried out. But I'd love to hear from you. So I throw this off to you, Nez Nation. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think that we need content moderators? Do you think that, I don't even know what the definition is of disinformation, misinformation, hate speech. I mean, what one person calls hate speech, another person might call an endearing love letter, or maybe even positive constructive criticism. Are we stupid? Are we blind? Are we ignorant? Do we not have critical thinking skills, critical discernment? And we need people, the government, to intervene? I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I would love to hear from you. As always, I try really hard to answer and respond to all the comments. It's literally impossible because there's thousands of them. So if you're a member, you get first priority, super chat, super thanks priority. Think about, consider becoming a member. It only costs you 1 cup of coffee for an entire month, and you're supporting the truth, and all of it goes back into the channel so I can keep producing free content. There's a button down there. Think about joining us and becoming a member, and I promise you won't regret it. You get special badges next to your name, special privileges, exclusive content, shout-outs and live streams, and more. So consider that. Also in the pinned comment is our free Nez Nation Insider newsletter. Become an insider. It's your sure-proof, fail-safe way of never missing out. It's a free email newsletter. That's all you got to give us is just your best email. Click on that link in the pinned comment. Podcast listeners and other platforms, it's in the show notes and in the description. Just click on that link, become a Nez Nation Insider. Give us your best email. Bada boom, you're in. We'd love to have you with us. Check out these videos right here that I just posted. They are so awesome and powerful. Check out these videos. I'll see you over there. Subscribe and follow. As always, God bless you, your families, Nez Nation, and God bless America. I'll see you soon.